Hello and welcome back once again to Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. And I'm so excited today to have another beautiful guest with me, Niki Hall. Welcome, Niki.
Thank you, Era. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And it's been a while since we talked, so welcome again. And Niki, please tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do currently? And then we'll jump into your amazing story right after that.
Okay, you know what? First, I want to talk about us because it ties into the book. We've known each other for maybe about 3 years now. And before we met, we followed pretty much the same path that kind of ran parallel, but we never crossed. Um, so the person we crossed with was Bob first, Bob Proctor. He took a major risk when he was 26 and totally changed his life. He got a lot of followers, millions of followers and believers. Then we both found out while we were simultaneously walking our path, we both found out about a lady who served the same master thinkers as we did. And we thought, oh, we want to join her. And we met in that group. And you take a little risk and you jump in and you're not sure, and you still attract people of your own kind. So there was about 5 of us that were all growing together, and we grew a really nice special bond. And this is how we met. Bob took the risk, the other lady that we joined took the risk, Ewa took the risk, I took the risk, and now we're here. And the results are wonderful. I mean, great networking, good relationships, great sharing, and great
Exactly.
support.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Yeah, and that is so true. We all took risks. We all wanted to advance forward in life, and here we are now, talking about all the amazing things we have done since then, and many more to come. So, Nikki, did you want to share any other backgrounds, what you do right now currently?
I am like Iwan. I am a coach. I am a mastermind success coach. And I think our stories are the same. You know, we took the risk and we did what we had to. We found out who we were by learning and listening by the master teachers. And we found that this is who we are and this is who I am. I teach slightly differently than Iwa does, which makes us a wonderful pair to bounce things off of and to be in a room with. And that's all I do now. I do the success mindset coaching. And of course, I branched off into this.
Awesome. Congratulations. And apparently your book just launched. Which day was it? Just recently, right?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Well, congratulations, Nikki, on being an author in this amazing book. And this is what we're gonna jump into it. What really inspired you to take part in the Bold Risks, Big Rewards collaboration book? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know, I was talking to Linda, and she said she was doing this book, but she changed the title to Bold Risks and Big Rewards. And I live a lifestyle of bold risks. So I thought, yeah, you know, that was a good book to share my input and to share my experience in. So I joined the team.
That's awesome. And was there any fears, anything that you were kind of working with as you went into that, or were you like really strong and confident? Like, was there anything on your mind when you went into that?
You know, I don't work too much with fear on that level because I've been writing since I was a young teenager, I guess. So you learn to rewrite the script of your fear when you're writing because you get a lot of no's when you first start writing, when you're looking to make that as a career. So you have to learn to turn a negative, even though it's harsh or mean or frightful, into a positive. And you have to, you know, when I was younger, I had to think, okay, that's one no, 99 left to go.
Exactly.
So you have to turn your fear around there.
Yes. And in your opinion, then, what are the most common fears people face when taking risks, and how can they begin to overcome these fears?
Okay, I'm going to change that question a little bit because I prayed about it a little earlier and I got a little meditation. So I'm going to share what I got. Um, what happens is with your biggest, when you get your biggest fear, that's because what you want is on the other side. And it's always trying to stop you. So what happens to get over biggest fear is to know that if it's really causing a big fear, that you're probably on the right track. And you have to know that your answer is on the other side. You can't stay on this side of fear. You have to start to get to know yourself. You got to know your strengths and you got to build them up. You got to move toward them, move with them, and do your best to overcome. Once you do that, you can, no matter what you've done, you can take that as a transferable skill into another challenge or fear. Like, even if you've got like a really big fear and I'm talking to you and I'm saying, oh, I don't know if I could do this. She could say to me, well, what did you do when you were 10 years younger? Did you face a fear then? You know, you can take that, what you've already done, and you know all of us have faced a fear playing on a team, public speaking, facing someone, facing a personal issue. We've already done it all. We don't have to reinvent ourselves. We just have to know we did it and we overcame. And the thing that we have to do is we have to modify ourselves for who we are now and agree to be a little bit vulnerable and find your way to the end.
That's true. Definitely. Because, you know, when we're growing up, teenagers, we definitely go around the world in a different way than when we mature a little bit, or when sometimes things happen in our life. You know, sometimes it's a death of a spouse or husband that can really shift our perspective, and there's other things too. So, you know,
Yes.
as we continue living a life, obviously we shift too, but
Yes.
you know, we have to really know ourselves and go within the core. So how do you think risk taking differs between personal and professional life? And what advice would you give to someone struggling to make a big decision in either area?
Okay, I'm going to go big.
You
I'm
go
going to go
big.
really big on this question. Um, like something like you was said will happen and it'll be so hard, like it'll be such a big change that you want in your life and you don't know how to do it, or it's just imposed on you. Like, let's say you're at work and this opportunity comes up and it's like, that was part of my 5 year plan and that's like 2 years ahead or something. um, when you get that, when you get to that place, sometimes if you're doing a personal inventory and you can't find something to call on to help propel yourself, relax in that, admit it to yourself, and then look at your parents. I was devastated. I was crushed once, and I knew I wanted to move ahead. And I felt like I had nothing left, not a single thing left to call on. And I was fearful and I didn't want to stay where I was, but I wanted to move up in that opportunity in business. So I looked at my parents and I knew my mother had a quality in her that I really, really loved and adored. And I thought, I've got that in me. So I called on it. I just called on my mother. So when I was going out and when I was trying to do this, I called on faculty I knew I had that I never really used before. Like a lot of time, we don't know all the opportunities we have within us. Never mind looking for help outside of here.
Yeah, and that's true. Like, you just don't know sometimes, you know, and it can be an overwhelming thing for a lot of people. Like even my mom, like for example, my dad had a severe stroke, and you know, you can only help so much somebody who was affected by that, like, because for her it was really hard to cope with.
Yeah.
And, for me too, but in a different way because I'm the daughter, not the wife, right?
Mhm.
But, you know, I want people to know that there's always somebody out there who you can talk to and who can help you or at least point you in a direction where you can go through the experience much easier, and sometimes people all they want to do is just talk about it and they already feel better, right? But there's
Yes.
many, many different avenues to go with this, depends what you're going through. So
Yes.
yeah,
I want to
definitely.
talk a little bit about that, Iwa, about feeling alone. Like we live as a triune person, right? We have a spiritual higher power, we have our intellect, and then we have our living our life in a worldly sense. So when the worldly sense becomes overwhelming and our intellect is kind of staggering, we still have our higher power and we still have that world connection. Like we are connected to everything. So there is never a, a way or a place you can pull an answer out of, or you can pull a growth nugget from, or you can cross a path from somebody who's looking to give exactly what it is that you're looking for, whether that be business, whether that be a health opportunity, whether that be care. They're all out there, but you have to know that you're still connected. Can I share one prayer that I do
Sure.
from when I was little to now? When I'm focused and I'm trying to do things, and a big health issue comes up, or a big job opportunity comes up, or something comes up, and you're really focusing and you're really driving yourself forward, and how you get knocked right off your life path. And it's like, what the heck just happened? But you still want that goal. And it's like, what's going on? A prayer that I started when I was little, because I've been spiritually committed for a long time, was at first it was like, whoa, you saw that when I was praying, that guy just knocked me off. But as I became more intuitive, I just knew that I could keep your eyes straight on the risk, straight on the goal that you want, and just say, "This is too much for me. You take this because I believe in you, and I don't want to take my eyes off the goal. I don't want to. I believe in myself as well. I don't want to take my eyes off the goal and keep going." And the thing that's trying to cause you, just put it aside and give it to your higher power, your higher self, and stay a little bit responsible to it. Like you can't like totally avoid it, but keep your path. And sure enough, it solves itself a lot of time. A lot of time. Like instead of taking 10 steps and losing your footing in your growth and in the risk and in the place that you want to go for the results, just keep going there and take one step there. Your higher power and your higher self will take nine.
That's
You
true.
know, once you get in that groove, you'll know how to live there, and uh, it's a very nice place to live.
Most definitely. I remember like many times, people reach out to me and, they'll tell me the struggle problem. And then actually just recently too. And I told her, just go within. What is really
Yes,
that you want to be the outcome of that? I know where you are, but what is it the end result you want to get from this? And then she thought about it. She thought about it. And after she's like, huh, I think I know the answer. And then sure enough, within a couple of days, she told me, so I said, how did it go? That thing you were working on? It was with another person. And she's like, you know what? It magically just like dissolved. It was like it literally solved itself. I'm like, well, see, there you go. And you were so
it
worried
really
about
does.
it. So sometimes that's all it takes.
Mhm.
And it makes things so much easier in life. So the book itself encourages readers to reflect on their own journeys. What role does self-reflection play in the process of taking risks and achieving success, would you say?
In my opinion, I think it's huge. I think it's huge because it's sometimes it's calculated on purpose and sometimes it's unconsciously calculated. But you can't walk into something full faced on a bold risk and not have yourself somewhat prepared. Um, it's to me, it's everything, honestly. I like to walk in and know as much as I can and know exactly where I want to land at the end. I don't know how it's going to come at me and how it's going to challenge me in between, but I need to know my beginning, which is very important, and I need to know my end goal. And anything in between, like Napoleon said, the obstacles don't count. The only thing that counts is the objective. So start with the objective, end with the objective, and then the rest, will fall into place enough.
Exactly, because it is not the how or when, it's definitely the end result. The rest will reveal itself in divine time. So what do you hope readers will take away from Bold Risk Big Rewards book as they read it, and how do you envision it impacting their lives? Any thought on that?
Well, I think some of the people will see themselves, a reflection of themselves in what I have to say. And it's nice to know that you fit a norm of mentality, even when you know you're different and the choice you're making is very unique to yourself. You know that many of us are taking the steps with you or have done it before you. Like there's nothing that's being reinvented here, right? But affirmation is really important. So I think you'll read this and you'll see some familiarities in it. I think you'll have a few creature comforts from it, and it'll help. One day, if it doesn't help today, it'll help down the line, and it'll just be a quiet place within somebody, and it'll help somebody move
Exactly.
ahead.
Yeah, because sometimes you read something, you forget about it, and then you something crosses your path at some point, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember reading something about that in that book. So you tend to go
Yes.
back, read it, and it just like clicks sometime. We call it aha moments in our neck of woods here. In the spirit of our podcast, how do you believe taking bold risks contributes to not just rising, but truly thriving in life?
Repeat the first part.
So, in the spirit of this podcast, it's called Rise and Thrive Mornings
Ah,
with Intention. Yeah. How do you believe taking bold risks contributes to not just rising, but truly thriving in life?
well, I think it has everything to do with it, honestly. It's a lifestyle, it's a part of you that you have to get into you. And when you wake up, you want to you want to rise and thrive, as you're laying the foundation down. Like that should be the first thing you think of in the morning, or the first thing when your conscious thought is coming up. um, so in the spirit of your podcast and your intention, it's very important.
So, is there any specific meditation or routine that you do to stay focused throughout your day, aside from setting the intention for the day? Is there anything, Nikki's golden nuggets you like to share with us?
Yeah, I'd love to. A type personalities, as you're moving up the ladder to become better and better and take the risks, you embrace more A type personalities. And those type of people don't care what day or what time it is. They don't care. They're on their goal, and they will write you, they will ask you, they will tax you, they will do all sorts of things. They could love you, they could respect you, they could have high regard for you, but A personalities, they don't have parameters. So I learned that I have to only be available from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m., Monday through Saturday. And I have to tell them that's fair, because they'll even think, oh, what? I got to talk to you between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. and you're not available on Sunday? Like, that's a big deal to some of them. So you have to learn to put your parameters where it's comfortable for you, for your character, for your discipline, and stick to it.
That's right. Well, I was gonna end on this note, but I also want to hear, since this is so inspiring, one last question for you. Is there anything you'd like to share that you're working on, that you're really excited? Any upcoming books? Anything else you want to share with your audience so they can come follow you and subscribe to you and find out all the good stuff coming up?
Well, I'm venturing out from this. Thank you for asking that, Ewa. I'm venturing out from being a contributor, and this time I'm following in Eva's footsteps, where I am branching out and I'm producing the book myself. So I am becoming a book collaborator, producer. So, and my first book is coming out. I'm announcing it I'm announcing it on the 18th, and it is called Holistic Intelligence. It is for those who have received an illness, a statement of illness, or, a diagnosis. And they said, yeah, that's not going to happen because it'll reduce their lifestyle, and they're not prepared to do that. And so many people have taken in mind the medical support they get, their own physical and mental and spiritual ability, and then they went to the holistic world, and they tapped into that, and they became high functioning again. The stories are fascinating. You'd think that some people would get a diagnosis and that would be the end of it, and it's so tragic. You hear it and you think, oh no, but they say, yeah, I didn't believe it, I didn't do it, and here I am. And there's a lot of people like that. And I think a lot of people need to know that they can take control of their own lives and, give it a go to get back to living high functioning lives.
So are you still looking for authors, or you have
I am still looking for authors.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So there you go. If you have a story you'd like to share in Niki's collaboration book, reach out to Niki. She'll tell you more about her insights. I am currently also working on my own book. It's called Footprints Around the World, Uplifting Stories of Adventure. So if travel speaks in your soul right now, you can reach out to me. So either way, if you have any questions you'd like to reach out to us, don't be afraid. All the links will be posted in this video. So Niki, thank you so much for this amazing podcast with you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your nuggets, and follow us to hear more inspiring stories in the future. So remember, each morning set the intentions to live your best life, and whatever else you want to write down. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And thank you, Niki, so much again. Take care, guys.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.